I've never told this story on camera ever before.
Yeah, and they tried to catch us over there. I don't know what in the kitchen was damaged.
I can't believe my mom basically saved my life.
You see the car of a car that went into a building, found 4 people, 3 adults and 1 child underneath the car. Serious injuries.
I've never seen anything like that before.
All I remember was the white light. I thought I was doing.
We almost got killed. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Finney if you're new. Today I'm telling a story on something that happened to me about 6 years ago. I was in 7th grade and my mom and dad, they wanted to do something fun for me, so we went to Las Vegas. I went often with my family, like we went every summer, so it was like a cool thing, like Vegas, like woohoo! And they allowed me to bring my school friend. So we spent like a couple days there. It was super duper fun. We rode a lot of roller coasters, we had a lot of good food. It was so much fun, and this was over spring break. April 1st, remember the date. We were packing up to leave Las Vegas to drive back home. My mom's a huge fan of breakfast, and she's like, let's get some breakfast before the road because, you know, we don't want to be hungry. We want to have full stomach before we get on the road, right? My mom looks up this cute little place. It's called Egg and I. And we've never been there, never heard of it ever before until this day. My dad also has a friend that lives there. So my dad's friend came, his wife, and his son, I think. I don't think did his son come? I can't remember if his son came. We meet them there at the restaurant. Me, my dad, my mom, my friend, my dad's friend, the wife, and his kid. So there's 7 of us here at the restaurant. We go inside, and this is how the conversation goes. Remember this conversation because this plays a huge role. The waitress asks my mom, oh, how many are in your party? And she looks around, 7. The waitress asked if we wanted to sit inside or outside, and my mom paused, and she looked around, and she looked outside, and she said, inside. We never usually sit outside anyway. My mom gets her breakfast, her pancakes, her bacon, and I get like what, French toast or something? Like, I'm not a big breakfast person, so I get French toast. Oh, actually no, I think I legit got chicken tenders. I don't know why I remember this specific moment, but I do. We get done eating and my mom waits for the check, and she gets the check and she pays the bill. We're waiting for the check to come back so we can leave, you know, get on the road. While I was waiting, I decided to go on Instagram and I uploaded like this, I took a picture of my cup and I decided to Instagram that because I thought it was cool. And I don't know why, but I remember the time being like 11:20ish when I posted it. And then like a couple minutes later, I'm like, you know what? I don't like this anymore. So I took it down. Like a minute or 2 after I was taking it down, I heard like the ground shaking. Like I thought there was an earthquake happening. I heard like people yelling like, watch out! Within a matter of like 10 seconds, I see this car crash into the restaurant.
Good evening, everyone. The driver of the car that crashed into that well-known diner this afternoon is facing multiple felony charges, including DUI, reckless driving, and hit and run.
And I'm looking at my friend and we're both like shook that this happened. And my dad's like, come on, we need to go. And so my mom's there like, I need my credit card. And so my mom, she goes to the back of the kitchen to get her car back. When she goes to the back of the kitchen, she sees the chef on the ground, like laid out. And there's like a fire happening in the kitchen. We meet my mom outside with my dad and everyone else, and my dad's friend is recording the whole scene. The guy who crashed into the restaurant with his car was with another person in the passenger seat, and they both fled the scene. I heard women yelling, get that guy! And so he was running down the sidewalk, and my friend and I, we could see him running down the sidewalk, and we see a couple of the men from the restaurant like tackle him down. Unfortunately, there's several people under the car. It was hectic. Like, I've never seen anything like that before. All the ambulances came, the policemen came, and we didn't stay there for very long because obviously we had to go, but it was a surreal moment.
Now, the people here who witnessed it all say that it all happened very quickly in a very packed restaurant.
My mom, being such a smart lady that she is, I don't even know how and why she was thinking this way, but she thinks this way. She was telling us after this happened, she specifically wanted to sit inside because she saw the traffic and didn't think it would be good for us to sit outside. It's like she had like a vision, not a vision, but she had a feeling. And the fact that we also had 7 people was great because there was this really big round table that we all got to sit at. We didn't get to sit at like a booth, and like there was a lot of space outside that we could have sat at because we had like a big party. But there was a perfect circular table in the corner of the restaurant. So if you think of the restaurant in like a square, like imagine us being in this one corner, right? And then just a circular table. In the car, literally like 6-7 feet away from us.
Black Lexus sedan interrupted their lunch as it flew halfway through the Egg and I restaurant.
It was just a scary scene. It really was. It was glass flying everywhere.
All the people outside were injured in some way or another. Like I was with my friend, like her parents would have been freaking out if she got hurt. I was 13 years old and this happened, and this was so like traumatizing to me. Like I can't even explain. Like to this day I still don't sit outside like a restaurant. And later that night, which is like really sad, but I cried myself to sleep that night because I was just in bed thinking like, what if that was me? Like what if I got ran over or my family got hurt? Side note, this is kind of funny, not kind of funny, but on the receipt it said have an excellent day because the place was called Egg and I, and obviously it wasn't an excellent day. It was a bad day. And the fact that this happened on April Fool's is kind of ironic too, because it's like, haha, April Fools. The whole day was just not funny. It was ironically not funny. And so as far as I know, no one died, thank God. There was 10 people who were injured. There was a 4-year-old that had a couple of broken ribs, and 7 of those 10 people that were injured belonged to the same family member. And our entire party could have been the 7 of that family who was under the car. And to talk about the driver, first of all, the driver was 18 years old and he was under the influence. He had taken a Xanax, he had marijuana, I don't know what other drugs, but he was drugged up. What has been said is that there's 2 ways of the street. This way, that way.
Police say the car was going westbound on Sahara before it crashed into this median and spun out of control. You can see the path that it took through these orange cones. Then police say it crashed into 2 cars going eastbound on Sahara before crashing into this restaurant.
The rumbling of him going over the median and hitting 2 cars was most likely the rumbling that we heard of the restaurant. And the 10 people who were injured, 4 of them were pinned under the car. Obviously, this guy was getting sent to prison. And it wasn't until like a year or 2 afterwards they really decided on what to do with this guy. And it was said that he was going to face 2 to 40 years in prison. So apparently, as he was talking to the police, he told the police that he blacked out before the crash even happened. I honestly just think he was irresponsible. He decided to drive while he was very drugged, and it ended with the result of hurting other people that he didn't intend to hurt. A takeaway from this story and just like life in general is like, don't drink and be on drugs while you're driving a vehicle. No matter how good you are at driving, no matter how good you may feel, it's not worth it. Like, it's absolutely not worth it. If you need to be somewhere, call an Uber, call someone to drive you. Literally do anything but drive if you are under the influence. So good news, a month after this happened, the restaurant opened back up again. And a couple years after this happened, I think either a year or 2 ago, my family and I, we went back to Egg and I, and it was all built up, and they built an even like bigger fence in front of the outside patio. We happened to speak to the chef that my mom saw, who was passed out on the ground, and he had like a couple of missing teeth, and he was saying that he will never forget that moment. I was really hesitant to go back. Like, I told my mom, like, I don't know if I want to go back, like, bad vibes. We didn't end up sitting in a booth when we came back, but we did sit somewhere further away from the windows. That's the story about how I almost died. I had a near-death experience, and my mom basically saved our lives. I just wish that you guys who choose to do drugs and choose to excessively drink alcohol to not do it while you drive. Like, please don't do it while you drive, because you're putting people at risk, you're putting yourself at risk, and I'm pretty sure you don't want to end up in prison because you have a full life ahead of you. But thank you guys for tuning into this story time. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you guys follow me on all my social medias, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn on my post notifications so you get notified every time I post a brand new video. Peace out, Girl Scout and Boy Scout.